The year is 2009. Kanye West had just stolen Taylor Swift's moment.
I'm gonna let you finish.
Jersey Shore premiered on MTV. The Black Eyed Peas were topping the charts 26 weeks in a row. This year of 2009, our cinema screens were blessed with a cinematic masterpiece so massive, so incredible, that everyone had to see it. And that film was the Hannah Montana movie. Oh yeah, and Avatar came out too. The hype leading up to the release of Avatar was unreal. I was only 10 years old when this movie came out, and I even remember when kids on the playground were talking about it. A film that was so big and so innovative that everybody had to see it. And everyone did. James Cameron did the impossible and created the highest grossing film of all time. Twice. But, as you may have noticed, it is no longer 2009, we are living in 2022. Times have changed, people. We can't be wooed by flashy visual effects the same way we did back then. I thought to myself before going in and watching the 4K re-release in theaters, I remember this film looking incredible when I was a kid, but surely it doesn't hold up today. Well, I was wrong. The VFX work shown here still holds up and looks absolutely incredible. All of the visual design and integration of creatures and plant life is so beautifully done. The design of Pandora itself is very creative and distinct from anything else I'd seen at the time. The creature designs lend well to the VFX and would have been nearly impossible to pull off practically. I must not fail to mention the textured sound design of Pandora. Whether it is an animal's whooping and whistling, or the waterfalls of the Hallelujah Mountains cascading into the mist, it does everything in its power to lift up the VFX and make it feel that much more real. Obviously, the re-release of Avatar did upscale the resolution, and that does help the visual fidelity of the effects. But the integration and thought put into how these effects would interact with one another is the main reason it still holds up. Obviously nowadays, there are movies with the VFX work on the same scale and at the same level of polish, but somehow the vast majority of big budget studio movies are really lacking in quality. Avatar still looks as good, if not better, than a lot of movies that came out even just this year. Thor, Love and Thunder, Uncharted, and Morbius have some truly egregious VFX work, and those are all high-budget, major studio films. Fun fact: James Cameron was told the Na'vi are not placental mammals, but he insisted from the very start that Neytiri should have breasts, as to look hot from a human perspective. Back to the video. The incredible innovations in the VFX industry were the main reason everyone needed to see it. It was something that hadn't been done before on such a massive scale, and we all needed to see it to believe it. However, visual effects are only one tool that can be used to tell a story. If all a movie has to bring to the table is impressive visual effects, then what separates it from just being another tech demo? Like The Lion King 2019.
All of that?
Yes.
Avatar is a story that we've all most likely heard told in one way or another. Avatar is very derivative. Avatar is Pocahontas. Avatar is Dances with Wolves. Avatar is Ferngully. These stories are all about a character being drawn into a new way of life and a new way of viewing it, usually through the indigenous locals to the land, that are much more in tune with nature. After becoming a part of that life, the character's past comes back to haunt them in some way that threatens the balance of their newfound life. Avatar takes the idea of being one with nature and expands upon it by having the characters literally being able to link to nature with their ponytailed tentacles. The afterlife for the Na'vi has a biological existence, a big ol' memory card with dead relatives that you can still hear. Although the message of the film is a good one to send, its implementation is incredibly heavy-handed. The ridiculously one-dimensional, military-backed, capitalist greed-fueled villains of this story are paper cutouts of an actual nuanced take on this type of archetypal antagonist. It's so one-dimensional that the reason this private company is on Pandora is to mine a very rare mineral called unobtainium.
This is why we're here. Unobtainium. Because this little gray rock sells for 20 million a kilo. That's the only reason.
The physical embodiment of these villainous ideals is the character Colonel Miles Quaritch, which I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, did not know that character's name before this moment. Colonel Miles Quaritch is the silver buzz cut and facially scarred military man. He's basically the same character you'd find in a set of generic military action figures. Quaritch spews the exact dialogue you'd guess from a character like this.
This low gravity will make you soft. Pandora will shit you out dead with zero warning.
Nothing's over while I'm breathing.
Also, he looks exactly like the villain from Toy Soldiers. The main character, Jake Sully, is an incredibly bland lead protagonist.
Oh yeah, who's bad? That's right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bitch.
I think the idea was to have the main character be an audience surrogate, just a generic military guy who wants to save the indigenous folk that he's fallen in love with. One problem, Jake Sully is boring, but hey, that's okay. You can have a very simple and bland lead character as long as you have a really talented actor to breathe life into their character.
Let's dance.
This is unfortunately not the case with Sam Worthington. So Hollywood has a recurring trend of when a successful movie comes out, other large studios want to reproduce that success. A way they think they can reproduce the success is by hiring the lead actor of the original successful movie. In this case, Avatar. After Avatar, Sam Worthington would be hired for 2 high-budget blockbusters, Clash of the Titans.
Someone was gonna have to say enough.
Oh shit, is that Mads Mikkelsen? And Terminator Salvation. You might notice that Sam Worthington hasn't really done any major productions since these, excluding Avatar 2 of course, and I think there's a very particular reason for that. Sam Worthington is not a very good actor. For example, you have this incredibly emotional scene of Zoe Saldana as Neytiri acting her heart out, giving an immensely powerful performance about how betrayed she feels by what Jake has done. Then it cuts to Jake.
You will never be one of the people!
Try to stop
them!
Terry, please.
Let me just take a moment to really appreciate Zoe Saldana. She came onto set and was told to act against this block of wood named Sam Worthington. She was told to wear this, and was told to pretend that this is an alien space dragon. And she still came out the other side with such a real and grounded performance. And that is nothing short of incredible. All the actors who came out on the other side of this new and strange technology with good performances cannot be understated. Oh, and Sam Worthington's there too. The cinematography done by Mauro Fiore is beautifully done. The scenes of the Banshee flight in particular fill me with awe. The energy in the scene is so effectively shown through the camera movements. The feeling is only expanded when it's accompanied by my favorite part of this movie, the score. James Horner's absolutely beautiful score is the best aspect of Avatar, and it always amplifies the quality of the scenes it's used in. Whether it's Jake and Neytiri racing down a cliffside, or the forest and its wildlife burning to the ground, the music just goes off every single time. Whoa. Let me just pause right here. I know there are a whole bunch of issues with the creative process of the score. I understand some of the frustrations that happened because of the behind the scenes of the score and the making of. And if you want a really great in-depth look at that topic, check out Sideways' video. I'd highly recommend it. It is an incredibly well-made and in-depth look at the score and the making of. Personally, I still think the music works really well, but also I really respect this video, and you should watch it anyway because it's really great. The combination of visuals and music work together perfectly and only lift each other up, which is what all movies strive to do. I do really enjoy Avatar. I understand why it's so incredibly successful. It is the embodiment of a cinematic blockbuster spectacle. The immense work and detail that went into the world building to create the world of Pandora is mind-blowing in its own right. The movie has heart, and it doesn't shy away from that. It knows exactly what it is and goes for it 100% of the time. It's just a shame that in its necessity to be so broadly appealing, it has to dumb itself down and project incredibly two-dimensional characters to get that point across. I just hope Avatar 2 improves on its characters and story elements to truly create something really special. 7 out of 10.